Hi, my name is Anjna. I'm a higher self quantum healer and intuitive, and today I wanted to share with you a particular message, one that I truly believe can shift something inside of you. Even if you apply this even in the smallest, quietest way, an invisible shift can begin, especially if you're feeling lost, stuck and overwhelmed, and it now just feels too much. And this is going off the back of a comment that somebody shared with me on my channel, where for them, their present moment is heavy, is full of suffering, and honestly, it's the last place they want to be. And I get that. It's totally valid to feel that way, and I'm sure we've all been there. I know I have more recently, where I experienced something profound, which I'll share with you in a moment. Or perhaps you're feeling exactly the same. So let me say this first, that this isn't about bypassing what's real, not at all. You're actually in the middle of a moment that's asking something of you. And even though it might feel like nothing is happening at all, something sacred is. Stick with me here. For example, a while back, I found myself in a heavy place, and I couldn't make sense of it. I remember sitting on the floor with my head in my hands, and it felt like my life was just caving in on me. And in that moment, I could sense and feel my old fear and survival patterns kick in, and my mind was telling me to find a way to escape. In other words, run away from the problem. But I couldn't see a way out, and I just wanted to feel like myself again. I just wanted to feel good and happy. I was caught between my old self creeping in and a deeper call from within saying, come on, you've got this. Now here's a shift. As I sat there, I then literally, with my mind's eye focused, with my eyes closed, as a way of shutting out that resistance, that internal noise that was coming up. And the more I continued to do that, I then started to see these unique, vivid colours, and then a spark of connection with my higher self saying, I have so much love in my life. And I was like, yes, I do. I do not need to fight this. Followed by the words, I am safe. I am safe. I really am. I do not need to fight this. I do not need to be angry. I do not need to let my ego take over, or any of this old stuff take over, because really none of it really matters. I am safe. And this is where it gets real. The reason why those words came to me as I brought my awareness into the present moment and connected with my higher self was because my body was going into a fight or flight state. My nervous system was acting out of alignment. In other words, my body was back in the past in those familiar limited emotions, activating thoughts and energy of the past. And the reason why this happens is because your body still believes it's in the past limited experience. But if you allow yourself, no matter what you're going through, to bring your awareness into the present moment of a now, and you allow yourself to just slow down enough to connect with your higher self, you will hear exactly what you need to hear in that moment to ease your transition. And it was those words in particular that I needed to hear in that moment, because as a child, I never really felt safe. My mind and body was living in survival because of my abandonment issues, because of the emotional abuse, and because of never having that sense of belonging to a family. And in that moment, when I felt that heaviness, part of that old energy came back. And in a minute, I'll explain why that happens. But here's the key thing. The longer I lingered there, repeating those positive, uplifting words, and more importantly, feeling and connecting with my higher self, I was gradually elevating my emotional state. Because emotion is the energy in motion, and it is the elevated emotions that carry the high vibrational frequency than, say, for example, survival mode, or any low vibrational energy. And if you want to create greater change, you have to be willing to get into that present moment of now and do it from a level of energy that's greater than shame, fear, guilt, anger, unworthiness. Any low vibrational energy cannot carry the thought of your vision, goals, your dreams, of a breakthrough happening for you, of opportunities happening for you, of a problem being solved for you, or better health. You have to be willing to disinvest your energy from your familiar past and call all that fractured energy back to you. And if you're not sure how to do that, I've created a video on how you can call that energy back to you and shift realities. And I will link that in the description box below. Now here's what will change everything. What you need to do is simply surrender to what is in the moment and fully accept the situation along with the emotional reaction, without judgment, without struggle, without grasping. Allow yourself to let go and to be with yourself, with all of it, whilst consciously loving yourself with compassion and being gentle with yourself, being mindful of that internal dialogue, because that internal dialogue can take you either way. Doing this will make your job so much easier because you're now approaching the situation from a place of neutrality, from ease, from calmness, from relief, from gentleness, with heightened awareness and with more new energy. This does not mean that you fall back into misery or you wallow in it. Stay conscious and fully with yourself. And then when you're ready, allow yourself to surrender to what feels beyond you to fix, trusting that your higher self will step in and resolve the situation. And just remember that every time that you're about to elevate consciously, there is always a moment that where anything that feels out of alignment, where your soul is calling for you to grow, will crumble and fall away. In those moments, trust that you're making space for new energy, for new possibilities to enter your reality, and more importantly, for new light to enter. And recognize that those parts of you that are leaving you are not part of your true essence. They are just aspects of your personality self, your personal reality, your personal human reality. In other words, those human experiences that you've come here to have, those parts of you that have been conditioned a particular way. And you will discover that there is a real higher you that never changes and has been with you always, your higher self, whether you're aware of it or not. And so in these difficult times that you are going through, in these experiences of fear or deep insecurities, you're being called to connect and trust with your higher self more than ever. And know that this right here is your sign, because as much as it might be just easy to just run away from whatever you're going through or to wallow in the problem, but this right here is your sign to connect with the present moment of now, because by doing so, it will unlock so much for you. And you can connect with the present moment of now by becoming aware of your breath work, inner self-talk, your self-dialogue that you have within yourself, by closing your eyes and going within, by journaling, by grounding yourself with nature, connecting with nature, and by connecting and inviting in your higher self to help and guide you. Because it's here that you get to create massive change in your life. And connecting with your higher self undoubtedly increases feelings of balance and being grounded. And that's just the beginning of it. You know, if you want to know more, I'll put the link in the description box below. It's higher self quantum healing. It's like having a direct line with your higher self. And it's not just about healing, but it's about getting rid of any energetical blocks, any negative energy that is still lingering in your energetical field. It's about clearing any energetical blocks, whether from this lifetime or from previous lifetimes, and doing a deep energetical cleanse at a cellular level. Listen carefully, this is a part that most people miss. When you are in the present moment, you essentially get out of your own way. As you begin to become pure consciousness, pure awareness, you change your brain waves. Your brain becomes more coherent. It means that your mind is focused on your current experience without being distracted by the familiar past or worrying about the future, allowing you to fully engage with what you are going through with heightened conscious awareness. And it is here that you get to experience greater clarity, reduced stress and anxiety, a deeper connection with yourself, improved decision-making and rational thinking that is going to serve your highest good and lead you towards your soul's purpose. Here you have the power to create, to let go, to release and purge, and more importantly, move into trust. Trust in the here and now, and that you have available new energy to tap into new possibilities. The now also provides an opportunity for you to dig a little bit deeper. Here you get to ask yourself, what am I being invited to see or learn from the situation? Am I being encouraged to release? Am I running away or avoiding something? If I embrace this instead, will it bring me relief and well-being? How might my life change if I released this heaviness, this burden that I have been carrying, feeling or dealing with? This also provides an opportunity for you to practice patience and stillness, and try doing this as, not just when you're going through something difficult, but just on a normal day, when you just want to become aware of what you're thinking, feeling and doing, because those three things continuously every second govern your reality. They mirror back to you whatever you're thinking, feeling and doing, because emotion is the language of the universe. Feeling is a secret. but also it gives you a chance to find a solution. Because when you encounter a problem, you also invite the solution in with it. And if you're thinking, well, I can't see the solution, that's because often we are too busy, stuck in whatever's going on, that we can't see or hear the solution. And if you're thinking, how does a solution exist at the same time? Because everything exists simultaneously. You know, it's just on the other end of that spectrum. Where you are here in that problem, you have to work your way with ease back to neutrality, gentle calmness, in order to hear and see the solution. It's just on the other end of that polarity. You know, just like you can't have shadow without light, love and hate, up and down. You know, the two polarities exist at the same time, simultaneously. So allow yourself that time to just breathe in and just bring yourself into that awareness and into that stillness and into that moment. Just slow everything down. By grounding yourself with the present moment, you can also lessen the impact of negative thoughts. And you can allow yourself to appreciate the simple joys of life, such as connecting with the beauty of nature or the wanting of human connection. And allowing yourself to acknowledge the emotions that you are going through without being overwhelmed by them, fostering resilience and inner strength. And I really want you to give yourself a chance of connecting and tuning into that present moment of now. Even if you feel like, you know what, your life is just too difficult right now, or you haven't got time. You know, it's the last place that you want to be because it's just too much, and it means coming to face with whatever you are going through, and you just don't want to deal with it. You know, and often I get that, you know what, we can get so caught up in the physical world, or we can think that, you know what, it's okay, we've got everything figured out. But the deeper you go into your spiritual journey, the more you will realize that it's all about energy, and your breath is a gateway. It holds so much power. It's one of the simplest ways of shifting energy, of moving life force and connecting with the present moment of now, and then inviting in and connecting with your higher self and aligning with the flow of the universe. Remember that if you stay in the present moment long enough and not panic about what was or what may happen in the future, you'll realize that really you are okay right now, and that you have everything you need to be reasonably comfortable and at peace, when you can then gradually get yourself to a place where you can decipher, release and let go and do something about whatever it is that's bothering you consciously and release it from your energy field. Plus, you never really know what's around the corner. Something can occur that can really surprise you and that can handle your situation or resolve the problem for you, or to fix or to save whatever you are going through. You know, and it will seem like it came out of nowhere, out of blue, but you would have manifested it out of the quantum field by connecting into the present moment and shifting that old energy. Instead of pushing against the flow, learn to surrender and to go with it, and to look at each of these moments as a stepping stone leading you and taking you towards your soul purpose and highest dharma. Now, what I'm going to share with you now is really important, and I want you to really keep this in mind, because when you're observing your past situation or your current event, it is essential that you see all of this from a higher perspective. This way, you'll be able to have a deeper understanding of what you're going through, and you're able to see the purpose in what's unfolding for you, what you're able to heal and transmute, and becoming aware of particular emotions that you are experiencing in that moment and where they are coming from, getting to the root cause of where they are coming from, whilst also remembering the lessons that you have learned in that moment. This will then enable you to move forward in peace. And the reason why I say that this is really, really important is because when you are thinking about the past or what could be, and you get lost in all of that, that is when a problem arises. Because we start to form identities around them. For example, worrying about the past, you might be regretting something that happened in the past and you're constantly thinking about it, or you're fixating on a desire that you want to manifest and it's not happening yet, and it's all coming from a place of lack. This takes you out of the flow of reality and what is happening here and now in your current life. Because it's here where magic lives. It's here where you're able to shift your life. Give yourself the space to slow down, as it will put you back in touch with the present moment, because it's here where your power lies. It's here where you'll be able to hear your voice and recognize what's holding you that needs to be left behind, and move forward with the clarity. Love yourself enough to release anything that's dragging you back to your old self. Next, go check out this video, especially if you're struggling to manifest a life that you want, where I share with you 2 powerful secrets that will change everything for you.